Hello, everybody. Is Andy Smith, your host with the most, 33-year veteran of the comic book industry, with this week's book look. Last week on the Professionals, that's a rotating show on, and when I say rotating, it's because there's 6 of us. It is myself, Aaron Lopresti, Billy Tucci, Art Bear, Dan Fraga, Graham Nolan. We all have YouTube channels, and every Tuesday night around 7 o'clock, we do the Professionals, and we rotate through our channels. This past week, Ramona Fradon's name came up, and Dan Fraga never heard of this artist. Oh my God. Ramona Fradon. This is the book look for the week, The Art of Ramona Fradon. She is a phenomenal artist. She is 97 years old. Correct me, I could be off by a year or so. And she officially announced her retirement. She has not drawn comics in a long time, but she kept up doing commissions and things like that. Apparently, she's officially retiring. Good for her. I discovered her work way back on Super Friends for DC. It was the book they did based on the Super Friends cartoon. And from there, I discovered Aquaman and Metamorpho. She is an artist who has done it all and has even done a little bit of work at Marvel. Not much. Most of her work was at DC, but she did do some there at Marvel as well. Beautiful Walt Simonson drawing of Aquaman here. Once again, guys, when I do these book looks, if you ever see my live streams, I got a bookshelf behind me filled with books. I pull these books off to go through. I haven't looked at some of these in years, and this falls into that category, so it's refreshing for me as well. Oh, that's great. That Walt Simonson drawing of Aquaman. Setting the scene. She was born in 1926. Wow. October 2nd, 1926. So yes, she will be 98 this year. Born the same year as Joe Kubert and John Buscema. I don't know. There's something about her work. It's simple, but at the same time, she does. It's funny. I was going to say it's simple, but complex. And I guess what I mean by that is, her art style is simple, but then you look at this design and how she put it together, and it is rather complex. In the beginning, so Howard Chaykin did the interview. It's cool to see, Howard just interview somebody of this nature, this stature in comics. This is stuff she was probably growing up with. Oh man, great strips from back in the day. And here we go. I mean, look at this. This is great. This is Ramona at the Parsons School of Design, 1945, 19 years old. Some of her sketches. The thing about this book is it is filled with a lot of art. And, I forgot to look. I always do that. When did the book come out? So you guys know how old this book is. This book came out from Dynamite Entertainment in... This, of course, is a first printing. 2013, so 11 years ago. Gingerly breaking into comics. About how she got started. So these are some unpublished strips that she did, trying to probably break into doing comic strips, because during that period of time, while comic books were around and cool comic strips were really the place you wanted to be. If you were a comic strip artist in the 40s and 50s, you were held in higher regard than drawing comic books. Here we have from Adventure Comics, number 269, 1960. So she was 33, 34 at the time. some Aquaman stuff. Atom color sketch. This probably falls into the category of a commission. Star Spangled War Stories, 1953. Wow, that is that's cool. I love the composition here, the way she handled the wrinkles and stuff. More Star Spangled War Stories. Gangbusters, 1952. Oh, Plastic Man. Plastic Man, created, of course, by Jack Cole. Her style, and this is Plastic Man, 1977. I don't know if she started with number 1 on this book or not. This is number 16, 18, 20, 19, and then even a calendar piece. But her style is perfect for Plastic Man. That right there is so nice and really reminiscent of Jack Cole. And then, of course, Metamorpho. Howard Chaykin says, your style was so eccentric. And she says, I never even knew I had a style until Paul Levitz told me so one day. And she says she tried to keep things clear and simple. So 1954 is that photograph up there with George Cashton, Murray Boltinoff, Mort Weisinger, and Jack Schiff. I've heard of all of those people except for George. George I've never heard of before. And that was 1954. So 28-year-old Ramona Fradon up there. Brave and the Bold presents number 65, out in 1965. Metamorpho, the Element Man. Let me see if I can just read through some of this stuff. I just want to see, because I'm pretty sure she was the first person, the creator of Metamorpho, who I always liked. I always loved the design, and it's one of those designs that still holds to today. Little sidebar talking about Murray Boltinoff. I assume it's kind of like a bio on him and some of her thoughts about him. Another great Brave and the Bold cover here. That is it's November, number 68, 1966. I just don't have enough time to read. I have so many books I'd like to reread, and I've got a stack of new stuff I haven't even gotten to yet. Here we're talking about Aquaman, first in Adventure Comics. I'll have to look. I do have the book, 75 Years. Aquaman's, it's like a anniversary type book. Might not even be 75 years. Love that sketch of Aquaman right there. The official name of the book I was thinking of is Aquaman, A Celebration of 75 Years. Because it's so close to me, I can grab it right off my shelf. I'm just curious. Let's see. So Aquaman, and I knew this, was first drawn by Paul Norris. Here we go. Adventure Comics 174, 1952. Page 33. So sidebar. See, I can do my own sidebar here. There we go. So starting here, this is from 1952 by Ramona. And I mean, it's just, for the time period, it's just really nice work that she did. And the thing is, I mean, look at that. That's a great face. The thing is, and I'm sorry, but she doesn't draw like a woman. And what I mean is, you can look at a lot of female artists' work and just go, oh yeah, a woman drew that. And it's not a bad thing. But her work, if I didn't know any better, I wouldn't even think that. And then, so we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 issues of Adventure Comics stuff drawn by Ramona. And then, you know, when Aquaman had his own book in 1962, it was Nick Cardy. And I mean, Nick Cardy's work is just fantastic too. But this Ramona work is just really nice. Look at that. Beautiful. Let's see where the Nick Cardy stuff is. Oh, it begins right here, I guess. Part 2. So yeah, Aquaman, now in his own magazine. I wouldn't mind owning an Aquaman #1. Probably out of my ballpark. I do love Aquaman. I'll have to check. Who knows? Green Lantern #1's out of my ballpark, but maybe not Aquaman #1. Anyhow, let's get back to the woman of the hour, Ramona Fradon. Here's a beautiful sketch she did. No date to it. Really nice, though. She's an artist who, those are pencils to me. They're not super tight. So you give this to like 3 or 4 different inkers, you're going to get a different look, but still be able to tell Ramona did it. And that is one thing that I think is so cool compared to some pencilers that just pencil so tight that forget it. You know, it doesn't matter. It's basically you're just tracing lines. Great page there. That's Adventure Comics number 190 from 1953. You know, it would have been really cool to see like Kevin Nolan take one of those sketches and ink it. Very nice. Just some personal pictures. That's what I like about these books. Oh, here we go. Man of 1,000 Elements. One day in 1964, George Cashton called me and said he had an idea for a new superhero series that he wanted me to illustrate. The chapter was going to be called Metamorpho because he could change himself into different chemical compounds. The plot, but when he described the wacky plot and characters he and Bob Haney had developed, I was intrigued, and in spite of myself, I agreed to help him get the book launched. Howard says, did you get to design his first appearance? At first, I designed a very conventional superhero costume, but that didn't suit Metamorpho. He was too human to wear a conventional superhero costume. So I dressed him in nothing but shorts and a belt with an M, divided his body into 4 sections. So yes, so she is the one that designed Metamorpho. Classic character, Justice League Europe. My buddy Bart Sears got to draw Metamorpho. Really stuck to this type of look when he drew the character, and it's all thanks to Ramona Fradon. Beautiful. And then here's some about George. Love this drawing. Just so nice. Ramona returns to comics at Marvel. So you left comics to raise your daughter after drawing your 4 issues of Metamorpho. How old is your daughter now? She's going to be 50. Oh, God. So that's, wow, I would expect her, even this book is 2013. So yeah, her daughter's about 10 years older than me. I wish this was bigger. I'd love to see that bigger. Howard Chaykin, did I date her? At any point, did I date her? No, I guess not. Oh, Howard. Oh, her and her husband got divorced after 35 years. That's a shame. So what is it that she drew? Let's go through this. So here we go. Spellbound. I'm trying to see above, opposite, top, the cat number 5. So she did more work for Marvel than I recall. She did do, if I remember correctly, I hate saying stuff and then being totally wrong. Oh, look at that. That's nice. A cover Let's see, opposite Namora #1 variant cover. That's very cool. Look at that. Still kicking it, drawing great. 2010. Nice subtle coloring. Modern day, looks great. Yes, I was correct. She did. She drew the Fantastic Four for a few issues. This is a key issue, actually, and inked by Joe Sinnott. So two legends working together. Really nice seeing her take on the Fantastic Four. So this is from issue 133. That's the cover. Key issue, like I said. It's a little pricey, but it's worth it. Opposite top, Fantastic Quattro 131. So a Spanish edition of it. I mean, she didn't do a lot for Marvel. Back home at DC Comics. She goes, the minute I went back to DC Comics, I felt at home. I was working with Joe Orlando, who was an amazing editor. And that is when, well, this is before she left. So they're kind of backtracking a little bit. Let's get to what she did when she went back, which I want to say, some House of Secret stuff. So some horror stuff. But I believe the Super Friends started around this time as well. Some more House of Mystery horror work. But let's get to the real fun stuff. Oh, Freedom Fighters. Totally forgot about the Freedom Fighters. But what I want to see, and I'm sure they touch on, obviously there's some Plastic Man stuff right there. I'm just trying to see Mike Royer inking. I mean, that is just another great combination. Here we go. Super Friends. I've got the trade paperback of this. Love the Super Friends, inked by Bob Smith. Here you go. Yeah, I can admit it. I love the Wonder Twins, okay? Love me some Wonder Twins. And there they are. I don't know if that was their debut issue or not. More great Super Friends work. Just perfect for it. I mean, the cartoon was very, very nice to look at. Really simple comic book style for the cartoon, and she just carried through into the comics so well with the work. I'm trying to think. I think there's a showcase of the Super Friends that DC put out when they were doing their black and white stuff. I have the, I'm looking at my bookshelf right now. I've got a small trade paperback collecting some of the issues. Love this cover. Look at that Superman. Very nice. But I want to say that there was a showcase edition of the Super Friends as well. That and that bookcase where I keep my showcases and stuff is not that close, but I will have to take a look over there to see if I have it. Looks like she did some kids book artwork for DC. Some more great sketches here. Convention from 1996. Just great body posturing. I mean, you know, just one nice illustration like this, no text, but it still really kind of tells a story through the body posturing and stuff. Was it Aaron Lopresti said that he sat next to her at a convention in the 90s, late 90s, And she had a bunch of Metamorpho pages still from back in the Brave and the Bold and stuff like that she was selling, and they weren't that expensive. And of course, like all of us dummies, he's kicking himself for not buying a page or two, which I've been in that situation too, meeting people that had great stuff for sale. That's just such a nice cover. And then finally, going from comic books to comic strips. All right, so 1980, you decided to jump onto Brenda Starr. Did you enjoy drawing the strip? It was a treadmill. How long did you do it? 15 years. She drew Brenda Starr from 1980 to 1995. 15 years. When she took on the strip in 1980, let me do my math, 1980, she was born in 1926. So she was 50. She was like my age when she started drawing Brenda Starr. Wow. I got to admit, I looked at comic strips. My dad would toss me the comic strip section of the paper. He'd be at one end of the table in the morning. I'd be at the other. Brenda Starr, this was around the time period I was looking at newspaper strips. And I did like it. She was obviously keeping in style with the original creator of Brenda Starr, Dale Messick, whose work, I didn't mind it. Just wasn't really my cup of tea. But for 15 years, that is a healthy run on a strip, a daily strip. I assume she did Sundays as well. And I'm sure there were some times she didn't draw the strip. This is cool. A sketch by the original creator, Dale Messick, inked by Ramona. These pages are nice and glossy, sometimes hard to turn. This is cool. Above Ramona in studio, New York City. It's hard to see it, but that's a nice black and white photo of her in her studio. Sidebar, talking about Brenda Starr. Ramona, the author. You finished the strip and you more or less went into retirement. Although you make the convention appearances, you do commission work, and every now and then you get coaxed into stuff like Simpsons Super Spectacular. How'd that come about? She says, Bill Morrison suddenly got in touch with me. Anyway, she says, I love doing the Simpsons story at Bongo. So that's pretty cool. She did some Simpsons stuff. And then written a book, or some books maybe as well. Ramona Today. Now remember, this goes back to Ramona Today is in 2013. She said, let's see, do you look at comic books or comic strips today? Occasionally I do, but the comic books tend to confuse me. They're filled with special effects that are awesome and brilliantly executed, but the plots are too often obscure. I just finished reading in the latest issue of Alter Ego an article that C.C. Beck wrote some years ago in which he reminded us that comics were originally intended for children. Yeah. There she is, 2001. Another very cool sketch. Aquaman. And then we're just kind of ending the book. What are we saying here? You ever work with marker? I used to use a brush, but lately I've been using micron markers to ink. So basically you're making a living from your commissions. Well, I have investments, so to speak. I'm better off than a lot of people. I don't have any money in the market though, which is wonderful. Interesting. In the past I did, but now I'm afraid that everything's going to fall apart. Howard Chaykin, no 401k. Ramona, no, I never had one. I never got any retirement benefits at Tribune Media, and not DC either. Howard Chaykin, no SEP, no IRA. Ramona, nothing. Wow. Oh, very cool commission. Aquaman discovering Captain America in the ice. So anyhow, Howard, what are you living on? I've got a fixed income and I save money, but it's getting to the point where I have to work in order to meet my bills. Howard, but you still love to draw. Ramona, more than I used to, because now I can draw pretty much anything I want. So that's it. And there you go. And then a bibliography, which is great. So you can really see what she started with, so on and so forth. First issue special, 1975, DC Comics, cover and pencils, Metamorpho, the freak in the $1 billion Phantom. Oh, I got to look for that. I didn't know that. And see, this is funny. So she drew Aquaman and stuff in Adventure Comics. I thought for sure she actually drew some of the Aquaman actual comic, but apparently she did not. So there you go. I was totally wrong there. Brave and the Bold, Batman and Green Lantern. What number is that? So Brave and the Bold, 55, Revenge of the Robot, 57, Origin of Metamorpho, 58, The Junkyard of Doom, 59, The Tick-Tock Traps of Time Commander, and 66, just the cover. That's 59, The Batman and the Green Lantern. I'm going to have to look for that because that's a Gil Kane cover, but I'd love to see her take on Batman and Green Lantern. So I've got some more researching to do here after this. Here you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this book look, talking about this wonderful, wonderful artist. She did start Metamorpho #1 when he had his own book. So that's cool. Plastic Man, she started with #11. Plot Magazine, the Super Friends started with #3. So look at that. Didn't start with #1. And then did just a huge run on Super Friends. Oh, Wonder Woman Annual #2. World's Finest, The Trial of Aquaman. Really great stuff. And that is it. That is this week's book look, The Art of Ramona Frادon. Guys, I can't recommend this book highly enough. Fantastic artist, fantastic visual storyteller. Definitely go check this out if you can. I am looking at my bookshelf. Oh, let's see. Do I have the showcase with the Super Friends? I do not. Well, there you go. I do not own the showcase with the Super Friends, but like I said, I do have, let's see if I can grab it real fast without knocking a lot of stuff down. Please don't knock anything down. Nothing knocked down. I do have this book, which is very nice. Pencilers on this are Ramona. Alex Toth did some stuff. That's probably why I got this, because the Alex Toth stuff is this first little story here. I know this is a Ramona stream, but got to flip through this great, fun Alex Toth job. And then, okay, so Super Friends. So this starts with #1, and that was actually by Rick Estrada. Let's see. Let me just go to the table of contents. I don't know if there was. Oh, here we go. Let's see. What page number does Ramona start? Page 29. Super Friends #6. So it goes from #1 to #6, which is her work right here. So this is her first issue, I believe, of it. And I think this stuff is fantastic. It's Ramona, inked by Bob Smith. fun, big, bold. It's flat color, and I tell you what, I love very good flat color. There they are, the Wonder Twins. Oh, yeah. Ramona and Bob Smith introducing the Wonder Twins. I'm a dork. What can I say? I love this era. I need to keep this out just to look through. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a book look just on this. So I'm going to stop going through it right now. Alex Ross cover painting based on an Alex Toth drawing. Guys, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Spread the good word of the Andy Smith YouTube channel. And please check out Nice and Tight, the comic book pencil art of Andy Smith. That's me. Trailer coming up. Link in the description below. We're so close to $9,000, which unlocks the next stretch goal of making this book wire bound, a nice wire binding so you can open it up, lay it flat. You could lay tracing paper over the pencils and practice your inking, scan the pages in. Just watch the trailer. See you guys next week. Bye-bye, everybody. Nice and Tight, the comic book pencil art of Andy Smith. That's me. This book features 52 pages of some of my favorite full pencils that I did for other companies over the past 2 decades. The raw pencils as they were seen by the inker, and now you can see them for the first time. This book also comes in a digital format so you can practice your inking in your favorite program. Back it today.